What happens when you have an absolute terrible round or even a whole tournament? And how do you get back to playing the disc golf that you think that you should be able to play? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Oh Yeah Disc Golf. This is Joey, always having good vibes, throwing funky lines, and trying to have a good time. I hope everybody's having a good one. So let me give you a quick synopsis right here. This past weekend, A-tier tournament down here in Austin. I was super excited about it because we had 33 MA3s. And I was super excited about it. I talked to my kids before the match, before the tournament even started, and they were like, "Hey, Dad, how do you think you're going to do?" And I was like, "Well, I feel pretty good. I'm thinking somewhere in the middle. I'm thinking maybe 13 through 18, something like that. That'd be awesome. I know that there was some very high, even though it was MA3, some very highly rated disc golfers, and the two courses that we were playing at was Roy G. Guerrero in South Austin, and then Sprinkle Valley, who is on the DGPT Pro Tour as well. So these are hard courses, and even though yours truly was playing the shorts, it's still two very hard courses regardless. But I was feeling pretty confident. I was feeling pretty jazzed about the whole thing. I was really feeling jazzed about it being with so many different players playing that I honestly, going into that tournament, felt, yeah, somewhere in the high teens to 18, 20, sure, not that big a deal. Then it was a 2-round Saturday and then 1-day Sunday is how it event rolled. And after the first round, I think the first round I shot a plus 13. It was an 833 rated round. Currently, I am like 873, so it's basically 40 points lower than my round. That was round one. Then I go to that was at Sprinkle Valley. Then I go to Roy G, and promptly throw down a plus. I think it was a 7 or 8 for the exact same rating, like an 830 rated. And then the next time I play at Sprinkle Valley, I pick up. I do play a little bit better. I think I pick up 3 or 4 holes. 3 or 4 strokes or something, but it wasn't any good. I think it was a little bit higher rated round, but I don't, to be honest. Anyway, long story short, I finished, I think it was 27th out of 33 people. And I was disappointed. I was disappointed from halfway through the first round. And it got me thinking now, a couple of days removed, is how does one go about? I paid $100, $115 with all the taxes to play in this tournament. And I was trying to get points. My overall goal is to make the Amateur Masters for next year. So I need 1,000 points. I've never had 1,000 points before. I haven't been playing that long, but I think last year I got up to 550 points, something like that. And as of right now, first week of, I guess, February 10th right now as I'm speaking, I think I have about 160 points or something like that, so I'm doing okay as far as that goes. But how do you get over the fact that you just laid an egg on a complete tournament? When we talk about a league night, or a C-tier one tournament, it's pretty easy to throw away, right? It's pretty easy to crinkle it up and be like, okay, it's done, no more, we're good to go. But how do you go back and say, you know what, you are better than you thought you were, right? Or you can play better. I guess that's what probably gets me the most, and probably what gets you guys the most too. It's not, listen, I am closer to 50 than I am to 40. It's not so much about, well, I didn't finish in the top 10, or I didn't finish in the top 5, or whatever the case may be. That's not really the case, right? Some days you and I understand some days you throw well, some days you don't throw well. Like my putt, I couldn't hit anything from 15 feet. Nothing. I mean, I was hitting bottom change. I wasn't confident. I would throw a absolute great first shot. There's a couple holes. I was clearly going to pick up one or two strokes on my card mates on my first drive, and then my second drive I'd hit first available, not even close. Like I would early release it, right? And so that's not even close. And then I went from a birdie par to I had to make an awesome putt just for bogey. So that was the kind of days. And I will maybe up here I will throw some of what I'm talking about and overlay that. But the actual disc golf shots is not what I want to talk about. Mentally, how do you get over the hump and say, okay, all right, let me go sign up for another, whether it is a $30 or $40 C tier, or Texas State's is at the end of next month, start to sign up for some bigger tournaments. How do you try to fix that? I don't know. I don't have any answers for you. What I do know for me is, or what I like to do is try to reflect and go back, really reflect with an open heart and an open mind, and sit there and say, what could I have done? After reflecting on it, this was my number one takeaway for me, and I think this is probably the number one takeaway I would give to anybody else. My number one word of advice, or how to fix yourself, or how to get back on if you're having a bad round or a bad tournament, or for that matter, a bad several tournaments, or a bad month, or whatever, because I've seen people do that too. I realized early on my first round, things weren't going well. I started to push and I started to put more pressure on myself. And obviously, we can all feel that coming, and sometimes it's coming and we can't fix it regardless, right? Like we can feel it coming and we know it's coming, but we have a hard time dealing with that. And then all of a sudden, you don't have good vibes anymore, right? You're having negative vibes. And I was bad at it too. I would clap myself. I'd give myself a clap if I missed it. There was one time that I, hit a tree with my disc, not overtly like drawing attention to me or anything like that, but just out of frustration. And I know a lot of us do that. And I can only tell you, even those things I've talked to, and I'm a high school baseball coach. I'm a middle school coach. I've been coaching all my life. When I see young people do that, I know automatically they're off, right? I know automatically it doesn't matter. They're going to miss their free throw, or they're going to miss the PK, or they're going to walk the next batter if they're pitching. And yet we feel like somehow it's different when we get older, and it's not. It's not different. And so the only advice I have to give to this is that when you feel that come in is, even if my second round, I got to play with a 17-year-old, now MA3. So I am 47. I was playing with a kid 30 years younger than I was. And he obviously didn't shoot well the first round either, because we were paired up. But this dude was just throwing bombs, right? And he was very scattered also, but you could tell 17, his dad's walking away. He was a good dude. He wasn't, my card mates were good all day. All 3 rounds, my card mates were good. But 17 years old. And then my Sunday round, I played with a cat who was in college, who's 23, and he was a great dude. Great dudes. But to go back, whether you are 17 or 47 or 55 or whatever the case may be, if you cannot laugh at yourself and have a good time and have those good vibes, realizing that things aren't going your way. I'm not ever going to go pro or anything like that. I don't know why we get so upset, and we can say, oh, well, it's because we expect better. But do we really? I mean, I got a putting thing in my front yard. I putt, but I don't putt like Gannon Burr practices. Like, we see the ABs and the Gannons and the Scoggins, and we see those people, and we're thinking, oh, they must be practicing, whatever. But just like I tell middle school basketball kids, how can you expect to be a good free throw shooter when you spend 5 minutes shooting free throws? You spend basically every practice, you shoot maybe 10 to 12 a day. Will you get better? Sure, you might get incrementally better, but you're not going to get better. You're not going to get Steph Curry. You're not going to putt like Scoggins or Gannon Burr. Like, yes, there are some genetics and being able to do it. I get that. But we're not putting in the time. Like, I don't want to say everybody, but for most of us, we are not putting in the time. I do disc golf because I love watching people whiz it. I love watching. It's like a home run hit. I love it coming off the hand. And I like it when I do it. I like it when Stacy does it. I like to watch it. I think, like, I look at these pictures that I take and I say, oh, holy heck, how do you even make that gap? Whatever the case may be. I love watching it. But then, and so I'm trying to get as good as I can be at 47 years old. But I need to rein that in and be like, dude, what are you doing, Joey? Dude, step back, take a breath. Dude, it's not my day. It's not my tournament. I paid $100 to finish 27th and get a free polo that I might not wear and a disc that I probably won't throw. So obviously I sign up for this tournament just for the level of competition and just to push myself. And sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. And I think that final round at Sprinkle Valley, I was able to have a little bit more fun. And I'm not talking about, and I want to make sure before I leave, I'm not talking about we got to laugh and be the class clown, but just the simple having the good vibes. Somebody has a good shot, dude, I'm still saying, hey, brother, that's a great shot, man. And I play with headphones in my ears, but I do it low enough. I wear like the running ones you can see in some of the videos that I like to listen to some music, but I can still hear everybody, right? And so I want to make sure if somebody has a good putt or if somebody has a great drive, dude, you got this. I was talking to the 23-year-old. He like 3-putted once. It's like, bro, Brian, you are going to be just fine. Like, don't get frustrated. I wanted to say, bro, don't be like me. don't mentally, don't get like me right now. Because easily, as competitors and as athletes or ex-athletes, you're trying to compete and you're getting frustrated because you look at the leaderboard and you're like, gotta, scroll all the way down to see how you're going. So again, all this to say this, you have got to find some grooviness. You have got to find some good vibes in whatever round you're doing, whatever round it is. Whether you're having a great round, whether you're having a bad round, because again, then if you leave that negativity, you're only going to feel negativity. And then when you get back out onto the course, whether it is the next day, the next week, the next month, if you hit that first tree, or if you miss that first putt, or all the above, or go OB, or go in the water, or whatever, all that negativity that you had was all stored inside. And now it's just bubbling to the top. Okay, it's just coming out there right there. So being able to release it during the course. So at the end of the day, you might not laugh about it, but you're like, you know what? It wasn't my day. It wasn't my tournament. You know what I learned from it? Let me take what I learned out through. Everybody's got a chance where they have a couple good things happen to them. On Sunday, I had a couple really nice putts. I can take from that. I switched up my putting stance a little bit. I felt a little bit more comfortable. My wife said it looked a little better. I can take from that. But I need to take from that so that the next time around, I do not have something bad happen to me, then all of a sudden I collapse, or all of a sudden mentally I'm in that bad vibes again. All right, so again, when you're having a bad time, we have to look at the bright side. We have to be able to release and regulate all that animosity, all that frustratedness, all those bad vibes, that bad karma during that round. And somehow we got to push that thing out. And whether it is breathing exercises, focusing on good things, cheering your other people on, inhaling, exhaling. There's a lot of different ways people handle it. Find your way. But by the time that 18th hole rolls around, by the time you're done, you don't want to be that ball of negativity, because that ball of negativity, looking back for me, that just kept on spiraling from the first round to the second round to the third round. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. I'm fresh now. I feel a lot better now. I'm getting healthy now again. And now I'm excited to go back out to the golf course and see what happens. And if it doesn't do well, it doesn't do well. But I don't think it's going to do bad. I think I'm going to shoot back better. And we're just going to go from there. All right. So, again, hope to see you guys out on the course. I hope you guys are always having groovy vibes, even when those vibes are tough. I always hope that you're throwing funky lines. And it is super, super, super important to always have a good time. This is Joey. We'll see you guys next time.